Bill Michaels, our good friend in Wisconsin. In fact, he owns the state of Wisconsin. He's the best at his gig on the radio, everywhere. Everyone knows it. I got a couple questions for you. First, we were just talking about the weather. Like, you and I were from the same ilk. I mean, you got freezing cold weather here. We got tons of snow. You get freezing cold weather, tons of snow. It doesn't matter if you don't have it right now. You know it's coming. But like the Packers play at Lambeau in sub-zero weather. When those games are there and you can't even, you spit and it freezes on the way to the ground, or you get the schnabberknockel, that's an advantage for the Packers. People that live in Wisconsin are tougher. People that live in Minnesota are tougher. People that live in Buffalo and Pittsburgh are tougher. People that live in New York are, narcissists and pigs. But they are tougher. I'll give you that. They're asshats, but they're tougher. Like, I'm not, like, I live in New York City. I'm not afraid of cold weather. Like, I'm used to it. Like, I've been in this forever. Like, how much of a pea do you have to be to cry about cold weather? You and I go to the store in shorts. I'm wearing shorts right now.
Yeah. I was, it was 35 below the other day. I went to the gym, and then I went to the grocery store afterwards wearing shorts. And a lot of people up here are kind of like that, but, people look at you like you're a little bit crazy, but you got to embrace it, man. I go back to what you said about the Packers. I took video of it before the game when the Packers played the Dolphins here. Packers are coming out, some guys with, just shorts, no shirts on. And the Dolphins, they're all bundled up like they're going to the Antarctic and they're going to live in an igloo for a couple of months. And it was it was like they got off the plane and went, okay, we got to get the hell out of here. We've got 2.5 hours and we can start to fly back. So you could clearly tell they were already whooped before they even got the game going.
Now, the last time you were on, your problem was the finding an Airbnb in New Orleans that you could party in adequately for the Super Bowl. You were having issues, and the prices were just outrageous.
Crazy.
And the amount of availability was horrible. What has the story turned into as we're 2 weeks out?
We got one. We're in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. So we're right across the border, about 40 minutes away. And we got a house on the beach. And we got it for a quarter of what everybody else was, getting down there. And I don't mind driving. 45 minutes, me in the car, I get to listen to stuff. So who cares? So we got that. But we're still scrambling a little bit. There's been a big shift in the way the NFL does things in the media center. So we're kind of scrambling for some space right now. But we're ready to go. We're looking forward to it, man. It's always good to see you guys down there. So I can't wait. We leave a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I mean, so what's the problem at the media center? What they like, where you're going to be located? Situated?
Somebody read 2 years ago that radio is dead, and talk radio, sports talk radio is not. But they have allowed in all these podcasters. There was a guy that they allowed in that they gave space to who has 2,100 followers for his podcast, and knocked out a bunch of longtime 20-year vets, radio network people. Because you've got people, this, it's not the same. We used to see all the people that worked in the NFL that were there, and now they just kind of source it out to, local people that really don't know. They don't know the heritage stations. They don't know the heritage, because we are on 7 different platforms and we do a TV show. And They're telling us, we don't have enough of following. I'm like, I got almost 2 million that follow us on all the different platforms. And you got a guy that's got 3,700 and he gets space. It's like, come on, man.
So do you, when you're there, at some level, because I've been to 30 in a row, don't you feel like you're surrounded by dorks?
Yes. How many times have you been standing there and you'll hear somebody ask a question and you just want to mutter loud enough for them to hear it? You're an effing idiot. That's all I want to say. I just, so I just kind of stare at them like, did you really just ask that? That's the dumbest ass thing I've ever seen anybody ask.
It's true. So let's talk about the Bucks. What is it, 5 in a row?
5 in a row.
They look good. Giannis, Dame Time, everybody else. They've changed so much as a franchise since they won it. A lot of people think they're getting back to being potentially dangerous again.
I think they are. I don't know. The one thing, the question here is whether or not they should make a trade. And right now, the guys in the locker room are like, no, we're finally starting to really come together. The beginning of the season, Brooke Lopez was cold. Gary Trent Jr. was cold. Andre Jackson was cold. Taurean Prince was cold. The only guys that were scoring was Damian Lillard and Giannis, and you didn't have Chris Middleton back then. Since Middleton's come back, now he can't play full minutes, and they've got him coming off of the bench, which is really not a bad thing because you've got a bona fide shooter coming off the bench. but guys started to heat up to what the back of their, basketball card or what their normal stats should say. So they've heated back up. Giannis, knock on wood, he's healthy right now, and he's kind of saying, guys, we need to keep this rolling. We need to get better, because you start to look at the starting five that they have in Boston. And really, I still think that's the best team in the East. The starting five that they have in Boston, now that Kristaps Porzingis is back, that's what you got to go up against. So they're just starting to gel, like you said, 5 in a row. But here's the test. They now have, I think it's 7 out of their next 8 or 8 of the next 9 on the road. So you got to win at least 5 out of these 7 to be able to say, okay, we've really, really come together. If you do that, then I think a lot of people are going to jump back on the Bucks bandwagon.
So Wisconsin has a big game on Sunday at the Cole up in Madtown against Nebraska. We talked to Jerry Pond today. Nebraska's fallen out of the tournament at this point. That loss to USC stung them. My Hoosiers suck. How are the Badgers holding up?
They're doing well. The big thing, they picked up Tanjay in the offseason. He's a shooter. They've been looking for a bona fide shooter from the outside for some time now. They've had a lot of guys that could shoot, but nobody that was a pure shooter. So now they've got bigs on the inside. They got the ability to rebound. They've got all 5 of their starters are averaging 10 points or better, which you don't get that very often. So, look, they finally got some shooters. They got some scorers, and they got some guys that can defend and play the board. So they've got a pretty good team. And we were excited about Wisconsin. We're excited about Marquette. Marquette's 2 in the top 10 as well, even though they lost to Xavier the other day. So got some good basketball here right now.
I couldn't believe they lost to Xavier at the 5-serve. Are the Brewers doing nothing in the offseason?
You know what? It's like a lot of teams, short of the Dodgers. I think they're just going to wait till about the week of when camp opens, and that's when they start making moves. All they want to do is drive down the price. That's all they're trying to do, because they just keep saying, hey, we're a small market. We can only afford so much. But they still look like to be a pretty good team in the Central. As a matter of fact, they're probably going to be 1 and 2 with either the Cubs or the Reds, because the Reds, I think, took a step forward as well. But it's a heavy pall up here right now after the loss of Bob Uecker, too.
Oh, that sucked. Bob Uecker passing. We'll see you in New Orleans, Bill.